In this video, I'm going to be answering the question, what is the meaning of turning point in life? My name is Paul Tobey from Training Business Pros. Thanks once again for joining me. The turning point is something that the majority of people face in life. However, most people do not know how to deal with it. So it's not enough just to know what the turning point is. You need to know strategies on how to deal with it and how to come out the other side when it happens to you. And believe me, you do not want to stay in that place for very long. Let's talk about what it is and how to deal with it right after this. Okay, so today we're talking about the meaning of turning point in life. Essentially, that's the part where you want to switch from old life that's not very good and not supporting you to a new life that's much better. The problem is many people stay in that spot for far too long. They don't make it through the transition period. And essentially they keep attracting more and more of the bad stuff in life. So for example, in my life, the turning point was when my music career kind of faded into the background due to a series of unfortunate events. And I had been a professional musician for many years. And when I lost my recording contract, I got tinnitus and tendinitis and depression. That to me was the real signal for the turning point in my life. How do I turn this thing around? How do I create the life that I truly want? And frankly, I did not know how to do that. So what I ended up doing was walking across Spain first on the Camino to Santiago, then coming back to Canada with some intrinsic self-motivation, and then started taking courses from people who had gone through that transition and come out the other side and led much better lives than the one that I was leading. So I've got 5 things that I've learned from my mentors that you absolutely need to know in order to, again, make it through that transition and create the life that you want. So, number 1, you absolutely need to give up something that is not supporting you. In other words, are you doing things in your life that do not create a better outcome? And if you're not willing to give those things up, then not much is going to change. So the first thing you're going to have to do is create some time to do more empowering things. We'll talk about what those are in a few moments. You need to replace negative habits and behaviors with more empowering habits and behaviors. And finally, you absolutely need to shift your focus from focusing on things that do not get you what you want and put them on things that do get you what you want. So that's really important. That's really the first part of the turning point. It's like understanding that there's a whole bunch of things that you're choosing to do, maybe not necessarily consciously, but subconsciously choosing to do over and over again. And if you keep doing those same things, you will never change your outcome. All right, let's move on to number 2. So the real turning point for my life is, what do I want to do next? What is it I really want? And that's a question that most people typically can't answer. But you must answer it in order to get it, because you can't possibly get something if you don't know what it is. Success in life does not happen by accident. It happens on purpose. It happens if you focus on something and achieving it and attaining it in your life. But if you don't know what that is, how can you possibly get it? So there are exercises for this, True Heart's Desire Intensity Scale, things like that. You can scroll through some other videos here on my YouTube channel and find lots about figuring out what it is you want to do with the rest of your life. But that's essentially number 2. Figure out what it is and you'll be much better off. Number 3, once you know what it is you want, you have to start clearing out a bunch of limiting beliefs that keep you in the same place versus go towards that big goal. Clearing out limiting beliefs means I have a belief that I can never be successful in business. A belief that I could never make money or never be rich. I have a belief that I could never be thin, or I have a belief that I could never have any friends or have a wife, or all of these things. These are limiting beliefs that we carry with us because our available evidence is that we do not have those things. And so we convince ourselves we do not have them, therefore we are not worthy of them. So essentially what happens is you become your thoughts. Whatever you think about, that becomes your reality. So you must clear out any limiting beliefs that say that you cannot achieve something. You also have to be consistently monitoring your thoughts. Be the silent watcher behind your thoughts. It's like, what am I thinking? Am I thinking negative thoughts? Am I thinking all of these negative beliefs that keep me where I am? And you constantly have to be watching that, and that never ends. It might get easier, but it never ends. All right, let's move on to number 4. Once you figure out, again, what it is you want and you start to clear out limiting beliefs, and there are, of course, many ways to do that, many ways to shift your focus and your behaviors and your belief systems. But number 4 is you've actually got to take some kind of action. If you want something, you're going to have to do something different in order to get it. So do you remember in number 1, you said we have to stop doing the things that are not supporting us on our journey and do the things that do? Well, what are those things? You have to take action based on things that actually support the outcome that you want to create. So the best recommendation that I have for that is take some advice from people who've actually done or achieved what it is you want to do or where you want to get in life. Find somebody that's already been there and ask for directions. In life, we've kind of learned not to do that. For example, in school, when you asked somebody beside you for the answer on a test, you got in trouble for that. So you kind of learned not to ask for help. And it subconsciously stayed within you. And therefore you think it's somehow cheating if you ask somebody else for advice. And that was my biggest problem for years. For many years, I had used what I had learned in university to be successful in life. And what I learned was things that I learned in university was not nearly enough to be successful in life. I had to learn a whole bunch of new habits and behaviors and focus and all of these things, leadership skills, stuff they don't teach you in school. So what I would suggest to you is you start taking some courses. Stick around here on my YouTube channel. I share a lot of information on success and how to achieve anything you want in life. So my suggestion again is get some help from people who've done what you want to do, who've transitioned, who've gone through the turning point and lead a much better life. That's the information that you need. Any other information that you learn from trial and error, it might be okay, but you don't necessarily know the errors that you're making, so therefore it tends to take a much longer time. I would suggest you cheat a little bit and just ask for help from people who actually have experience. For example, if you want help with money, don't ask your Uncle Leroy who's broke. Personally, I never ask anybody for financial information who's in the same tax bracket as me. I don't want that information. I want information from people that are in a higher tax bracket. To me, that's better advice than the advice I'm going to get from, say, people who work at the bank. And finally, when you go to take action, make sure that whatever you're doing, it's not just you. Don't be too self-centered. Be in it for yourself and for other people. On your journey, it's nice to take people along with you. For example, my wife and I, Nancy, have been on this new path for many years now, and it's led to a very successful life, and we're very happy together. But that's not the life that we had before the turning point in the music business and all the trouble that we had there. So I'm suggesting to you that whatever you do, make sure that it helps somebody else. And again, the more people you help, the more success you'll have. All right, there's one last thing that I want to share with you. It's probably the hardest thing, and that's number 5. If you really want to transition and get on the other side of the turning point and start to create the life that you want, then you're going to have to learn how to detach from the outcome. So many people in life are typically in a hurry, but the universe and the way that things unfold does not necessarily happen in the time frame that you want it to happen. In fact, if you've ever heard the expression, good things come to those who wait, I'm not suggesting that you wait around for things to happen, but I am suggesting that you do something, keep focusing on it, because what you focus on expands. Be prepared for it to take a little bit longer than you think, because success only comes to those who are ready. And it's not about being in the right place at the right time. It's about being the right person in the right place at the right time. And how do you become the right person? Well, one of the ways to do that is, of course, change your belief system, but also learn to detach from the outcome. Do you get angry and frustrated and overwhelmed and depressed when things don't go your way? That is a vibrational frequency that's so low, it can't possibly attract the good things in life. So that's something you need to learn and understand. So some people call It's the law of allowing. Some people call it the law of detachment, but essentially what you need to learn is focus on what it is you want over a period of time, and eventually 99% of the creative process is complete. You still won't see any evidence in your physical reality, but then all of a sudden, if you keep going and never give up, what will eventually happen is you'll start to see some light at the end of the tunnel, and you'll start to see your goals and anything that you want in life come to you easily and effortlessly. I hope you had fun learning about the turning point in life. I've been there. I've been through it. I certainly do not want to go back, and I hope this information can help you when you face that ever important transition in your life. Thanks for your time.